I'm putting together this video so I can show you some software that I've developed. Essentially, it's a data entry on a tablet that allows a patient interaction with a doctor, both from the patient's medical history point of view and the doctor from the considerations in the meeting point of view. So what I've done is created a software that runs on a server. It can be hosted on the cloud, or it can be run from a small server right inside a doctor's office. Tablets run over Wi-Fi. You manage patients when they come into the office, when they get sent into a room, when they get a form template filled out for them based on their specific needs for being at the appointment, and then when they've left the office. This allows everybody in the office to know when patients are there, where they are in their position of the appointment, and when they've left the office, without having to get up and look at a computer screen because it's on the tablet that they'll be carrying around that they're doing their own data entry from. So what I'll do is I'll show you how the data entry works. Essentially, the patient is selected, a form template is selected, and then buttons are pressed on the tablet that conform to specifics based on the interaction with the patient. At the end of it, a document is created, which is in letter format, which then can be edited down to the very specifics that are needed for that interaction with the patient that was beyond the interaction in the template. And then that's automatically saved to a PDF file, which is industry internet standard for documents. So it's very easy to, if you need to send that document to somewhere, if you need to prove that that document was written on a specific day, the document's self-generated from within inside the application, so there is no need to call up or work with the Adobe software. That's automatically generated. So I hope you get an idea of what the steps are that make this application work. It's written for an oral maxillofacial surgery office, and that can be extended quite easily to any other medical practice, but it could also be extended to almost any industry that needs form filling. There's a framework behind the template generation, so it should be quite easy to turn that into any kind of form and data collection that's needed. You'll get an idea of what's happening with the software. It works very well from the tablet point of view, but the desktop can also be used because it's based on the browser. So it'll run on an Apple iPad. It'll run on an Android tablet. It'll even run on a phone. As long as your phone is a smartphone, you should be able to run this software on it. And of course, almost any desktop has a browser, and that browser would be able to run it. You can make it so you can run it from inside the office or even outside the office for some of the work, and that would depend on security concerns and issues and firewalls and those according aspects of the office. So I hope you get a good idea of what this is all about, and we can take it from there. What I'm doing here is I'm logging into Thunder, and this is going to show us the patient list for the start of the day. But of course, until somebody's entered in, you're not going to know who to be expecting at what time. So there's a facility to enter in the time. You can put the date. It's always just going to follow up on the same date when you're putting the information in. But you can put somebody in if you found them in the list. There's some fake names put in the list there. But you can also enter somebody in who's not in the database at the current time, and you can quickly just put in, essentially you need to put in their date of birth and their gender, and that makes it easy to notice who that is once they've come in the office, so people just looking at their tablets can realize who is in what room and who should be where and when the appointment is being run. So what I've done here is put one in that was in the database. Now I'm filling out another one, inserting them into the database, and then actually setting their appointment. Now what I'm going to do here is very quickly just get I'm sort of sped up adding a few more people just so that there's a list of people to go through. This list can be generated, usually it's done the night before, so that in the morning the list is waiting there. And you can do it for days previous. You make that decision on how you want to put them in. But usually the day before, or first thing in the morning, the names are entered, and then you have the list ready to go for that day. So you see here I've added a couple of names manually, and I've also put a couple of names that just came right from the list that these are patients that we've already seen. And there's the list there, and it's in order of the earliest appointment at the top, and therefore the top of the database goes away and the bottom comes up as appointments are completed, and then you're able to see those specifics. Here is, if you want to just change any detail like the time on the appointment, that appointment time is now changed. So it's quite easy to remove an appointment, move appointment to another day, move an appointment to another time, or even change some of the specifics on a patient. Okay, what I want to show you initially here is that there's, on the left-hand side of the screen is a tablet computer on the bottom. That's a 10-inch tablet. Then a 7-inch tablet on top of that. And then an actual phone, an Android phone on top of that. So we have three different interfaces to the same data. And on the right-hand side, you actually see what the screen looks like on the desktop, looking at the browser itself, and it's showing the list of patients that were entered into the system for that specific day. And what we're going to do is see how that follows through, and when you make an update on the desktop or when you make an update on any of the tablets, that will reflect everywhere. So what we do is, if you notice when I click on press arrived, the color turns blue for the first name Jeff LOL. Then it turns red when I've actually picked a specific template, and all of them and all the tablets also went right to blue to show that they were in the building, and then to show that a template is being processed. Normally it wouldn't go this fast from entering to doing a template on them to finishing the template, but that just shows you now it's in italics, and that's showing you that it's in the process of having the template done. In other words, it's been completed, but it's not been accepted as finished. So we picked another one here, and you notice the color changed to red, saying that there's a specific template being filled out, and then all the specifics for the template are going to be selected. Remember, we're doing this from the desktop, and you wouldn't be using a mouse like you see on the right-hand side of the screen there. That's a mouse doing it, but it shows that you can do it on a tablet or on the desktop and do the exact same thing. Now you notice because it's been finished, the color turned sort of a greenish yellowish, and so that specifically means that one you can't edit the template anymore. You can only edit the specific notes, the return to clinic or next appointment notes that are available. And there's another one that's been completed, and you see the corresponding color changes on all three tablets at the same time. So we're going to do another one very quickly here. What I'm going to show you in this one, you didn't see it there, but when you pick different items, it actually picks different text for those words, and sometimes we'll even insert words right in the middle of the paragraph, depending on, like when you select more than one tooth, it would say the word teeth in the description. But we're going to finalize this one, and it says there's no height or weight entered, because that's something that needs to be entered. Some of the things obviously can be passed by, but let's say the person didn't want to have their height or weight entered. You have to put a reason why not. As soon as you type in a height and a weight, that a question for the reason goes away, and you don't need to put one in. But you can see how far we've come through. So any of the ones that are italicized and a sort of yellowy green, those ones are only allow you to change the next appointment or the return to clinic notes. And when that's done, they turn to gray. Essentially, they're no longer able to be clicked on. I could actually make them disappear, but then right in the middle of the tablet, those things would disappear on the other people's tablets, and rather you hit a refresh like there on the phone. We hit a refresh and then the gray ones went away, hit a refresh, gray ones went away, and then the colors go back to what they should about a second after the refresh happens. So you see the how that worked with those two tablets. Okay, what I've got here is showing you the editing of the Adam West. When we actually complete the entry and finalize, the color changed on the desktop and the color changed on the tablets right away. And you see I can finalize or set the RTC for Adam West, and you know that it turned gray on the desktop plus turned gray on the two tablets. So I'll remove one of the tablets here, just so you can see both the desktop version and the tablet version, how they sort of interoperate. So we're going to take Shirley Temple and make her arrive, and you notice on the right-hand side on the desktop there, change to blue, then change to red. We can go ahead and put Stephen Brody in a room, put him in room 2, and you'll notice on the desktop that he also changed to room 2. Now let's just go and take Stephen Brody and actually fill out the template from beginning to end here. Just show you when we put the height and the weight in, it no longer has that little area to say how come we didn't put the height or weight in. What we do is now pick, since we're doing wisdom teeth, we're going to pick them, and we're just going to quickly go fill out as if we're filling out a record. Any of the areas to type in where like this is popping up, where the number 5 and carp popped up, we can go in and type and edit that. So all of the text there is fully editable. So before it goes off to be finalized edit to the PDF. So if you wanted to change and the number of pills there weren't exactly the number, you could go down right into the spot either at the bottom there or at the bottom here next to home medications given. But we're going to actually say this is completed and save it, and then you're ready to move on to the next patient and template. Okay, what I'm going to show you here is the PDF generation. So ultimately generating the results of the form filling. When you're done a form, it comes up in the list. When you have special login permissions, that brings you to this side of the application, and this side will give you a list of all the documents that are completed, allow you to call them up. All of the form information that was entered in either by pressing buttons or the little bit that can be typed in is automatically put into letter format. That letter is then given to you in an editable format, similar to like what a word processor would do. You can add a lot to this. You can put links in, you can put images in, or just bold and italicize and just do the normal basic formatting that you'd want to do to any document. So you can edit that information. So you edit that information, and when you're done, when you feel that you have the document completed and there's no other information that needs to be added to this, you then get to save and finalize it. Here we just saved and closed it, and then you see when we brought it back up, we opened it. Now we saved and finalized, which actually brings in the PDF file that's created. It puts the basic information in the top, the header side of who it's for and contact information, and so that's the auto generation of the PDF file done. You don't need any of the Acrobat supporting files. This creates it with a library, an open source library that's available online, and so that's that's set up in as part of this to create that PDF file. So the PDF file is obviously very easy to store that file. You can send it somewhere, easy to manage. The file name is based on internals of the document, i.e. the date that the appointment was, the time the appointment was, and then the internal numbers for the appointment number and the patient number, and then the template name description. That's what the file name is. So it's easy to go back and look up any file that you need to, even though you've tucked them away and haven't seen them from an archive position in a long time, you're still able to easily isolate the document that you were looking for. So there, it also, if you noticed, it automatically highlights the patient's name with a highlighter. It puts a yellow background around the patient's name. That just makes it a lot easier to see when you're sending it off to somebody. Just sort of, a lot of different aspects can be done. I mean, obviously, not all documents you want that highlighted. You may want different things as part of the default standard, and that can certainly be removed. Since I've developed the software, I can easily just take off so that none of the documents have a patient name highlighted, or a logo is automatically put on every one of them, or a signature at the bottom signing it off can be done by people automatically. In other words, it brings in a scanned signature. So there's a lot of different aspects that can be built around this.